I want to talk to you today about something personal, actually personal to you. I want to talk about your business being more personal and about you being more personal. Mindset is 4 times as important as what I'm doing for activities. Truly, 4 times as important. Where my headspace is, how I start my day is so important. So, even if you take 15 minutes and just have silence and maybe meditate or read some sort of quiet, I'm going to share with you what I do. I literally practice savers. So it's silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing, writing. I do it for about an hour every morning, and what it does is it helps me to be in complete control of my day, and it starts me off on the right foot. But here's where a lot of people are. Number one, there are people that are stressed. Stress comes from unfinished business. A lot of people were overwhelmed when this pandemic started and they stopped doing all the right activities. And so now they feel like they have this extreme weight on their chest and they have to ramp up really quickly. And there's a lot of fear involved. Fear is a feeling, not a fact. And I think that's something really important to understand. So we have people that are stressed on this side, brick on their chest. And then we have a brick on the chest on the other side of people that have anxiety. They're full of anxiety and it's fear of the unknown, right? They don't know what's going to happen next. But all of us have lived in the unknown before. Every single one of us has lived in the unknown, that we didn't know what was going to happen next at some point in our lives, and we're still here. So what we do is we need to focus on being in control. And being in control starts, just like I said, starting your day off right, but it's more about being in the present tense. Every time you feel like you're not in the present tense and you feel yourself stressing or you feel yourself going in the other direction, you can do one of two things that will help you right away. Number one, take some really deep breaths and just think about a really happy, positive position. Just take some really deep breaths, close your eyes, and picture something that was really good. Or close your eyes and visualize how you want the day to go. I take 120 seconds before I leave my house, and I literally, or before I leave a hotel room, depending on where I am, and I visualize, how do I want the day to go? How do I want those people to feel? What do I want to be different? And I'm telling you, because I've been doing it for so long, it comes out so close to how I visualize it, it isn't even funny. And that helps you to stay in control. So let's get back to personalization. Personalization, 90% of consumers want a trusted advisor. In fact, exactly what they want is a trusted advisor, speed, and transparency. So you want to personalize your business. And by personalizing your business, you want to make sure that you serve your consumer well. And this is for brokers and agents as well, by the way. You can personalize to every individual agent you're working on recruiting or every single person you're working on merging. And it's actually a good idea because you'll find out if your belief systems match and if your business philosophies match. It works in recruiting, it works in acquiring other companies or merging other companies, and it definitely works in gaining business. It's all about investing in people. If you invest in people, you'll get an unbelievable return. In fact, it'll happen in multiples. It is 122% return on personalization, making it personal to them. So Google them, friend them on Facebook, connect with them on LinkedIn, put them on a Facebook list so that they come to your feed every day so you know what's going on in their lives. The more you know about what's going on in their lives, and the more you can personalize directly to them what's really important to them, what are their real estate dreams, regardless of whether that's an agent joining your office or a consumer. What are your dreams? Where do you see yourself in the next 1, 3, 5 years? How can I be of assistance in that process? So that's definitely an important part of this puzzle. Typically, we have about 25 people that are the most influential people in our lives that give you the most referrals, do the most transactions, and those are the people that you really want to fine tune, you really want to concentrate on. And then next we have allies. Allies that, and I can tell you that right now in this time, they couldn't be more important. Allies, people that are in and I'm going to give you a few new ones today, but people that are real estate related. Mortgage companies, appraisers, home inspectors, insurance companies. All of these companies, you want to find somebody with a good reputation that will help you to have a perspective. That accurate knowledge of being a trusted advisor Number one, you have to build a relationship, which we just spoke about, but then you have to make sure that you're providing more value and giving a better return than anybody else. So if I look at the mortgage companies, think about it right now. Interest rates are going down. There may be past clients that you can give them advice that, hey, hold. I think that interest rates are the lowest they're going to be. You might want to refinance right now. You can give them good advice by educating yourself. Connect with that group of allies. I recommend you have a dozen. I always call it a dirty dozen, but connect with those allies and find out what's going on. What happened in the mortgage business in 2019? What's happening in 2020? We know that there's mortgage forgiveness for a 6-month time frame because of the pandemic, anybody that was impacted. It's all about making sure that I help that consumer. I'm going to add 2 spaces for you, 2 places. One is the planning board or municipalities. We are going to see a tremendous amount of change. We're going to see a lot of zoning changes. Maybe it's a shopping mall that turns into a condo project or a commercial property that actually ends up with mixed use. We're going to see people have the opportunity for smaller lots. We're going to see people actually upsize because they realize that they could be home more often. People move because of their circumstances, and we're seeing a lot of circumstances change. Another one I want you to pay attention to that I think most people won't think of because they always think of a migration chart, and that is moving companies. And moving companies for business and moving companies for personal. You'll start to find out where people are flowing to. And it's probably not going to be identical to what the migration chart is. There are going to be people that are literally going to leave the country and go have a better quality of life. There are going to be people that are going to move out of the cities and move an hour further out because they only have to go to their office once or twice a week, and that they can satellite from home the rest of the time, and that they can afford more further out. We are going to see so many changes. So make sure you pay attention to moving companies because they'll have an easier access. I know a long time ago when I was actually focused more on real estate day to day, I actually did a relocation that 33 people were relocating in a company, and I actually got 31 of them. And it was all from making sure that I was the resource. So here's the statement of the decade. Income equals value. The more value you provide for these individuals, the more income you're going to earn. Don't worry about how much money you're going to make. Don't worry about nailing the presentation. Worry about how much value you're adding to that individual that's in front of you. And it doesn't matter if it's the consumer that's in front of you, your allies, their children, your allies and the people that are your consumer. Maybe they're struggling with making a mortgage payment and you can give some sound advice. Who are they going to remember? You know that it's going to always be adding value. Also add value to your community, the community that you serve. It really makes a huge difference. And it will also give you education so that you'll be able to see trends before other people. You know, time is our most valuable asset. This goes back to the weight on your chest, right? Time is your most valuable asset. And we spend 20% of our time gaining 80% of our results. Imagine that. 20% of our time gaining 80% of our results. So you know what? The smartest thing for you to do is to really measure, where am I getting the most results from? Where am I gaining the most return? And part of how you do that is by knowing your skill sets. We're all good at a couple of things. And the more I can actually be understanding of my skill sets, put together a list of pros and cons. Here's the things I love doing. Here's the things I don't love doing. Here's the things that I would love to pass on to somebody else because it's a huge distraction. It's another weight on my chest. Here's the things that I really excel. Ask a group of your most trusted advisors, a handful of people, where they see your strengths, where they see your biggest skill set, and really focus in those directions. If I made that 20% of my time into 80% of my time, I'm going to make 4 times the income. It's okay as a broker to say, you know what? I'm not the personable person that's going to be in here having a cocktail with you. I'm not going to be the person networking. But I do know how to solve problems, and I can actually help you to do more than anyone else. They're sitting there saying, how does it impact me? How does it affect me? So is the consumer. That's why the more personal it is, yes, do the homework on the property, but do more homework on the person. I can tell you that it's the biggest way that I have broken records in my life. Next on the list, you want to measure impact. You want to know how am I doing, right? Am I meeting expectations? Am I exceeding expectations? what am I doing? And you really want to make sure that you are authentic and transparent. So that's what's going to make people follow you. And how you can be more authentic is asking, what could I do better or more that's going to add value to you? Own it, and own it even when you make a mistake. Reach out. I'm telling you, I've ended up with so much more business from people that I reached out to and said, you know what, I was wrong. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Or maybe you delayed calling somebody back. Pick up the phone. It's just a conversation. It's always just about building that connection with the person. So let's go back again just for a minute to fear and the concern of this, where we are and coming out of it. It's one step at a time, doing things the right way, one step at a time. I recommend, at the beginning of the day, before you leave your house, take that 120 seconds, close your eyes and visualize how you want the day to go. At the end of the day, your work day, close your eyes and visualize what worked today, because there are going to be some things that won't work. There's going to be some new changes. You're going to have to kind of reform habits. And I know this seems like an awful lot of habits, but it's just like learning how to drive. Once you get into these right, steady habits all the time, it will become automatic. You'll go from being incompetent to being consciously competent to being unconsciously competent, which is the place you want to be. Then it seems like it's a simple routine. Doing the homework on these people, I recommend that you do it an hour every single week, and then once a month, put together 4 hours to work on your life, not in it, on your business, not in it, so that you can plan ahead and so that you can maximize on every single opportunity. Then you'll have a lot more times that you're exceeding expectations. When you get under pressure, I'll tell you, actually, my mom said it better than anybody else. She always had a mantra, and her mantra was piece of cake. That's a piece of cake. And so I would say that before I went in to speak if I was nervous, or I would say that before I had to go have a confrontation or let somebody go, or that kind of thing. But I have a new mantra, and it doesn't matter whether you have a mantra or maybe you play Rocky or your favorite music that gets you totally revved up if you're nervous and you're trying to accomplish something. But do some one of those things. My mantra is fate whispered to the warrior, "You cannot withstand the storm." And the warrior whispered back, "I am the storm."